Hello everyone, Bad Drivers of the Steel City here, formerly Bad Drivers of the Mid-Atlantic, and Bad Drivers of the Susquehanna Valley, because I can't stick to a name. So I am here, my apartment, here in Pittsburgh. Sorry you might hear some buses and stuff, I'm along a bus route on a pretty major road. So what I wanted to do was sort of show my setup. Now the only reason I have the tailgate open is because I am too lazy to cover my plate in editing, and I really just don't want to take my plate off. I know it's not really all that necessary, I know people can see my plate, but there's no point advertising it, if that makes sense, if I can avoid it. So, we will start, since the tailgate is open, with the rear. Just a reminder to everybody, I do have a 2005 Honda Pilot EXL with the rear entertainment system. You can see hiding up there. She's my tank. He gets through things. Right now I'm waiting on an appointment to have my radiator replaced. She is leaking a little coolant at idle, whenever the fan's on, but, 157,000 miles and change, I'd say that's not too bad. So, to start, oh god, I don't know if the lighting will see this. Let me try my phone's flashlight. There we go. So, this guy here, it is a tow guard. Shit. I forget the model name. I will link it, and I will probably put the text saying what model name it is underneath it. So it can record in 1080p. It just sits on my tailgate, pointed back. Of course, now it's pointed up at the trunk, which, of course, is reflecting. That's the road, you somehow see. But it runs... Sorry, light. It runs using micro SD cards. I have 4 32GB ones that I just kind of swap out when I feel it's about full, because it is set to loop over itself, but I like to remove it before it will loop over itself so I can save all of the footage. It does have night vision. I may have mentioned that, I can't remember. It has parking sensors, and it has motion detection, which I leave off because I don't want to go into the trunk and start fidgeting with it for my rear dash cam. That, I believe, is the extent of it. It's a decent mid-range dash cam. It's normally $60. I actually managed to get it for about $30. Now, because it's an older car and it's not hardwired, I sort of just, have the cable tucked up in the plastic, going down, and it just kind of hangs there, and it's plugged into a cigarette lighter in the trunk right behind where the third row seats would be if they were up. I believe that's all for the rear. I no longer use my Genie dash cam. I was going to use it as a cabin camera after buying this one, but it broke. So, not a big loss. It was honestly pretty crappy. It said 1080. I don't believe it. Not that it really matters that much anyway. I compile all my videos at 25 FPS, just because my computer can actually handle it, and it turns out alright, which you'll see more of that later. Now, let's move on to the front. This is my little garage. Not a lot of space, but it's enough. So, up here we got, normally, in nighttime and inclement weather and anything like that, or if I just really don't feel like charging this phone, because right now I think it's at 6%, I use what I'm recording this video on, which is my trusty iPod 5th generation. The screen is obliterated, you can't see that. I might include a picture, but probably not, because I'm lazy. But I also use this iPhone 6S. The iPod is 32 gigabytes. I record at 720. It can record for about 6 to 7 hours before I need to empty it. And the iPhone has 128 gig, and I haven't gotten an exact estimate, but even though that records at 1080, despite this recording at 720, that holds a lot more driving than this does. I haven't filled it up yet. I've gotten to certain points and just decided to empty it. Now, I am using, believe it or not, a mix of mounts. The base plate, let me get this guy out of here. The base plate, come on, flashlight. base plate. I bought it actually on clearance at Best Buy with a gift card I had like a year and a half ago. And it, aside from the fact that the button likes to stick, which isn't a big deal, I fixed that. Sorry, my Easy Pass is also like right there. But I have the original mount in here, I believe. Oh no, I took it out because of the car going into the shop. But I took off the, sorry, this seat is so creaky. I took the original mount off and bought the special suction cup, which I had originally bought for that Genie dash cam because the clip was broken. Now, obviously I have no use for that anymore, but it is what it is. Now I have a backup for this guy. And down here, oh god, there's like no light. Where'd my flashlight go? So, I have this little cup. These are the unused SD cards. So that way if I'm out and about and I think, oh, I should swap it, I can swap it for an empty one. And then I'll bring the filled up one inside for the computer portion, which you'll see later. Sorry, there's just a bunch of random stuff. Here I have this, obviously, iPhone cable that, you know, since they both use Lightning, it just uses that to charge. There isn't really much else to that. Over there I have this old mount, what's the brand? Ayati? Something like that. And that's just where I have my phone and whatnot. Unless I'm driving with the windows down, because I'm always paranoid I'll hit a bump and my phone will fall out the window, I have this little sticky pad. Don't mind the Dr. McGillicuddy's alcohol minis tin that has, what does it even have in there? I don't remember. Let's see. Fun times with Max. Yeah, my name's Max. So, I guess it's just Tic Tacs and hand sanitizer. Why am I showing you this? A little bit about the car while I'm at it. Obviously, it has the heated seats, 6 CD changer. It has the DVD player up there. I do have a sunroof. I have a little nifty sunglass thing. Careful for turnover boy, flippy boy. She sees her use. Obviously, the seat has seen better days, but it's corrugated leather, and Honda's corrugated leather loves to tear as it goes. Especially, you can't see it, but on that side, it's pretty good and busted. I don't think there's anything else for the interior of the vehicle. Here is where I had the, this is the angle that the cabin camera was facing. In fact, the cabling is still tucked up under here. Sorry, my shoes are kind of in the way. And that umbrella. And it was originally going into here. But obviously I have that all unplugged. And this little nifty thing is for when your windows are foggy from the inside to defog. And then I also have this, which is really amusing, and I have used on more than one occasion. Usually to leave notes if I see someone's car get hit, which is a lot more often than you'd think, especially off camera. But I've used it when people have parked like dicks before, and it's really entertaining, honestly. Yeah, I don't believe there's anything else with regard to the car. Aside from the fact that she's here, she's driving. I took the gold rush plate off because of the fact that it was in the dealer, and I don't want to put it back on to take it back off. I did park a little close, so checking my coolant, again, because of the radiator issue, will be interesting tomorrow. You can see hiding way down here my little jag-off plate. Now, I could go in through the basement, but we're going to go inside. I'm not going to show you this part. I don't want to show too much of my house, you know. But we're going to go inside and take a look at my editing setup. Alright, so now that we're inside, I'm going to show you a little bit about my editing setup. So, obviously, here's my laptop, HP Envy 2-in-1. I don't really ever use it as a tablet, though. I just have it open in my YouTube channel right now, which, by the way, subscribe. Feel free to like the videos. Here's some other cool channels you can check out. Shout out if you're there. I have little sections with every type of video. You know, all my different playlists and all that fun stuff. But here's the fun stuff. So, this is my video editing software. I use Wondershare Filmora. Um, Now I like to use this because one, I had a way to get it for free. Two, it is very easy to use. I'm able to basically import all of the raw footage, go through it all, trim out all the bad drivers for some designated set of time. I need to find a way to not make this so arbitrary, to actually have a reasoning for how many clips are in a video, because they range from about 20 minutes to about 45, as you've probably seen. Just kind of depends. And so right now this one's in the middle of the process where I put these three little black screens and I separate the clips, putting them in random order, where these ones are, you know, the regular bad drivers, and then you get the personal mistakes, and then you get the random, funny, interesting moments. Now, after I do this, I will import the intro, all my little transition screens, all my graphics, all that kind of stuff, and I'll go from there. I have a bunch of pre-saved custom text, you know, to put captions in, to put the title, if I'm not the driver, which doesn't really happen anymore since I no longer have a roommate with a vehicle. And I go through and I just kind of make my video. Now, here, so I have two 2 terabyte external hard drives. I don't have like one for one purpose and one for the other. One got filled, so I started putting stuff in the other one, and it'll just kind of as needed. So I separate it based on the date that I label it is the starting date for that video, or that set of videos rather. So this one is going to be the 26th of November through the 1st of December. So on and so forth. Some videos end up being longer than others. It just kind of depends on how I tweak it and cut it and trim it and all that stuff. I then have the actual compilations, most of which I usually delete them once I post them. I'm a little bit behind on that. Except for the bad driver ones, I keep them until I've made the worst driver one, which I have to actually go back and re-download a few because I got rid of them too soon. And then I'll make a worst drivers and I'll delete them all, because then if I need the video back, I can pull them from YouTube. I always keep the worst drivers, so I have 1 through 7 here. And I have the project files separately. Notes, I never really use that. Old footage, I do have a couple videos worth of old footage from the end of 2016 into the beginning of 2017. And then the supplemental stuff, so this is where I have my funny moments, title cards. I have all my random graphics, you know, when that no turn on red sign likes to pop up a lot, and the right lane must turn right. My different versions of intros. I've been messing around, so the intros have been kind of bouncing around. I went from 10 to 11, back to 10, now I'm to 14. These two kind of were, or to 15 rather. These three were kind of bleh. And then the old-timey ones for when I make those, so I'll need to make a new old-timey one out of whatever intro is there when I get to that, which will likely be a while. I'm pretty behind. Music, just one song. I don't really use it anymore either. Outros, same deal as the intros. The personal mistakes, title cards, and then my thumbnails. I just kind of have these different thumbnails. Sorry, the camera is probably being pretty shitty right now. And I just go into Paint and I add the text over it, and boom, thumbnail. And then Dashcam F is just kind of raw footage at the moment. That's just kind of how it has to be. Yeah, so that's the computer aspect of the setup. Now, keep in mind I'm a sound designer. I don't typically use this for my video editing, but on the rare occasion where I record voice, I do have, I believe the brand's a Fifine mic with the windscreen. It gets the job done. It's pretty cheap, but I'm looking to replace it with some money I might come into later. Now I have a CD drive under here. Yeah, the Sims back there in my old wireless mouse that runs up and plugs into here as well. And the cooling tray that my laptop is on, it loves to overheat when I am working on, when I have videos compiling. Now I have, my miscellaneous cables that I need sitting there. So I have my 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch adapter cable and my iPhone syncing cable for when I am getting the footage off of this iPod and off of the phone. If I ever need it, I actually have this old USB hub that I hook that I have plugged all the flash drives into as sort of a storage thing. They're not actually plugged into anything, they're just kind of there as storage. I do have an Echo, not that that matters for any of this, and a Kindle, not that I use that for this, I use it for my sound work, and a sound bar, which if I don't want to use headphones, which are right here, I have Sony, I forget the model number, they're about $80, $85 studio headphones. When I don't want to use those, I use that Anchor soundbar. Sorry, that's my phone charging with my really long cable. All my power is up here. I got my fan, not that it matters, it's the middle of winter. Some Bird Dog, Kentucky blended whiskey. I actually got it on clearance, it's some pretty good stuff. And in here, hiding, is the old camera. The only problem is, let's see if I can show it. This is broken. The USB port, it wobbles and it does not like to stay plugged in and it does not hold a charge and never has. So there's that. I also have my little stylus chilling over here. Not that I use it that much. I have the touch screen. When I'm at home, I hardly ever actually touch my screen. I forgot to mention I don't like wireless regular mice, because a lot of times I'm sitting in places where I can't move the mouse around, especially here. This is a very skinny area, so I use a trackball. I grew up on one. I love them. And this little cup here, this is a SD card from the dash cam that I have to actually pull the footage off of, which I have a little port on this side, and I have the micro SD reader. I actually have somewhere here. Oh, over here. This little cup has one more flash drive and then a bunch of those adapters. I can't really think of anything else. I got my license plates chilling up there, a bunch of random memorabilia and stuff. A signed Weird Al poster, which is pretty cool. I do have another pair of wireless headphones. They're not great. I just kind of use them for, whatever. And one little tidbit thing. Comment if you remember this. My roommate wrote this on this foam block before he moved away. This is from one of the early videos. This is one of the legendary phrases to have ever been said and captured on video for any of my videos ever. Can't really say there's much else. Let's get a backed up, zoomed out feel for the setup. It's not bad. There's an empty beer can. I forgot about that. My whiteboard that I basically don't use, but if I ever need to leave myself a note for my video or for my sound, that's where I leave it. Yeah. So, hey, if you are already a subscriber, I thank you very much. I don't necessarily make the videos for a particular audience or to get subscribers. I make them because it's good practice for me and it's a lot of fun. And I like being able to go back and watch what I've done, especially given, there's a lot of good memories I've caught on Dashcam. So it's just kind of fun to be able to go back and look at them. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else. Thanks for watching. I hope you continue to enjoy my videos, and feel free to like, subscribe, all that bullshit. Yeah. Have a good day.